Good morning. So today we're going to, as requested, make a more full video on how to make an L network tuner at home to save yourself a couple bucks. You're going to need a piece of PVC or other non-conductive material, and I have just random screws, rusty or the like, put in at random points. There's probably a calculation you can figure out where this will be more useful as tap points. We're just going to put some screws in there. A bigger pipe is better, I guess. This one is 3-inch, but just anything sizable. The bigger the pipe with the more turns on it is the most amount of inductance. If you did a small pipe with many turns, then you'd have less inductance, or a big pipe with less turns. So there are resources online. You can Google coil inductance calculator, and it will ask you questions about the diameter of your pipe, how long it is, and how many turns. So if you fit several turns in here, then you'll have massive amounts of inductance, and so on and so forth. If you're using bare wire like me, you'll run into the problem where you don't want the coil to short out to itself. So you want to somehow separate the turns without shorting them out. If you're using jacketed wire, then you're going to have a whole nother problem with tapping into the wire. So there's different solutions. Here's one that I've made, and where I ran out of wire, I just wired them together, and you can tap onto those. But on this particular use case, we're going to use bare wire and try to separate the turns all the way down here. On this particular design, you're going to give yourself a little tail. Just wrap it a few times around this screw, and then start wrapping your coil. So as you wrap down the PVC, you want to keep her tight, but also separate it. The more uniform your turns, the better, but just do what you can. This isn't rocket science. This is amateur radio. When you get to the next screw, just wrap it around that a few times and keep going. And if you have short pieces of wire, like I do, then you may get somewhere and realize you need another screw. So just add that in there, and then wrap another piece of wire around the same screw and keep on going. So there's the end of it, at least for now. Not very uniform, not very pretty. Just make sure that nothing's shorted out on either side. Might be a good idea to, on the side opposite of your screws, if you're mounting it on a board, put a strip of black tape or something similar over there to make sure that they don't get shorted out. And then you're ready to mount it to your board or whatever you're using for your tuner base. All right, she's mounted on the board, the variable capacitor. How to build one of these butterfly capacitors is not within the scope of this video. I just bought one off of eBay. As far as what values you need, well, that depends on the frequencies that you intend to operate on. And I'm not too familiar with exactly how to calculate that, so I just have this one. As far as connections, this in this configuration will be the hot side, or the center conductor of the coax coming from your transceiver. And this will be the ground side. The ground side, you could make it more neat, but it connects to the outside of your variable capacitor. And you want to do that to keep the hand interaction or hand capacitance to a minimum. And you also want, in this case I have a jumper piece of coax to connect to antennas. The shield of that jumper coax is also connected to the ground side. And then the other end of the coil, off of your hot side, shall we say, needs to be connected to the hot side of your capacitor, as well as the center conductor of your jumper coax that goes to your antenna. There are a few different connection methods, but in this case, we have another wire on the hot side with an alligator clip that we will tap at various points along the coil to get the desired inductance. Sometimes it may be better to have a jumper wire from the ground side to the base of your coil, and then jump your hot side to a various point along the inductor. When that's necessary, as far as if you're matching a low or high impedance, I don't remember. So experiment and find out. Maybe somebody will tell us in the comments, but that's pretty much it. That's an L matching network, redneck style, an old piece of particle board with house wire wrapped around PVC. Do some Googling or watch a few other videos. Somebody will show you how to make a variable capacitor. That's not the scope of this one. We'll just buy that. Anyway, that's probably what would be a $200 or $300 tuner that we got for the price of scrap and the price of this variable capacitor. So save you some money, homebrew some stuff, and it's fun and it looks cool on the wall. So 7.3 K5 UCL.